Welcome in the next member of our panel. Right there in his Sports Source Digital Network hat. I would never allow a hat on this segment, on this show, except when a man goes 4-0 on his sports gambling show on our new YouTube channel. If you're not watching on YouTube and playing along with him, you're wasting money. You're not, it's a great retirement plan. That's an exaggeration. 4-0, Tyler Ivins. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good job. All right. Check him out. The show is called Action. It's on the Sports Source Digital Network, which is just our YouTube channel. Go find it. All right. Take a look at the two most recent updates as of early yesterday morning, the full bracket. Now, I know Lunardi then puts up an updated just spread list, but this is the actual bracket he put up. Let's pop this for Lunardi and Palm, and there you go. They both have Tennessee as a number 2 seed in the East region. That's the Newark region. They both have them starting in Cleveland now. They were starting in Raleigh, now in Cleveland. They're both the 2nd seed to Duke, who's the number 1 seed. Lunardi has them play, they both play Central Connecticut State. In one bracket, Lunardi has them, or if they advance, they would play the winner of West Virginia and St. Mary's, who this week had a big write-up in The Athletic about how they look like the Cinderella of the entire tournament. So, whoops. And then on the other side, it would be the winner of Oregon and BYU. And Oregon, I believe, knocked off Wisconsin yesterday. Right. So all these teams in the tournament are dangerous. But here's the interesting thing. You look up there, the 4 top seeds under each of these regions. In one of them, it's Duke, Tennessee, Texas Tech, and Purdue. Not interested in seeing Purdue. Tennessee has lost their last 3 straight games to Purdue, including 2 times they've been put out of the NCAA Tournament by Purdue. On the other side, Jerry Palm has them with Duke. Tennessee's the 2 seed, Michigan's the 3 seed, and Missouri's the 4 seed. No interest in seeing Michigan. You were 0-3 in your last 3 games against Michigan, and they all happen to be you're out of the NCAA tournament. So Purdue and Michigan have put you out of 5 NCAA tournaments. I don't think you want to see either of those, but let me get your reactions. Tyler, you're new to the panel today. Thoughts on where Tennessee is seated right now and what that looks like?
So from the Palm standpoint, we brought up already Oregon, great come-from-behind victory in Madison in overtime. BYU, outright winners last night in Tucson against Arizona with a massive upset. I think right now, if I'm Tennessee, there are a couple things that I need to weigh, and Mark brought it up last segment. Do you want to be the 1 seed and maybe get out from under some of these other matchups with a potential Purdue or a Michigan, as you pointed out? Or do you want to catch yourself catching a little bit of extra time and maybe being squeezed out as a 2 seed depending on how Nashville plays out over the next couple of weeks? For me right now, Tennessee, their ceiling, in my eyes, even though they're catching a little bit of consistency, ceiling is the Sweet 16. Now, we can have another conversation another time about being a 1 seed compared to a 2 seed, maybe struggling and slipping to a 3 to determine if maybe it would grow or decrease your chances. But the Vols right now, more rest, more efficiency, potentially better than a Sweet 16.
Well, let me throw this one out. Ken Pomeroy, they've raised like 9 slots since last week's now in offensive efficiency. They're hovering near the magic 25 spot. They're about 27 or 28, so just telling you. Thoughts on what Tyler said and what you think about the brackets?
Yeah, and I looked at the schedule down the stretch. I mean, you're going to have some games that are obviously the Alabama game is going to be big.
Yeah, we'll talk about that next.
I really think that this team is finding its stride, but we're such at a delicate spot of whether we stay healthy. Obviously, we got to make shots. In our inside presence. I'm interested. We've talked about Igor being such a key all season long.
Goodness.
But then again, 18 minutes last night. I mean, we get the win. But for us to make a Final Four run and get beyond the Sweet 16, Igor's got to give us more.
Do you, back to the bracket thing just for a second, when you guys were coaching, are you guys looking at this stuff?
No.
Nobody's paying any attention to Lunardi and Palmer or any of that stuff?
No, I mean, like you mentioned before, I mean, we were in Raleigh before.
Yeah.
It's
too
so
far out.
Yeah.
It switches.
Right.
There's also, this is a weird year. There are a lot of pretty good teams in college basketball. It would be like a year if you had like one 11-1 team at the top of the poll in college football and then a bunch of 9-3 teams. You have a bunch of 21-5 teams right now in college basketball that I think are all on a given night could beat each other. So, like, I would be terrified to play that BYU team. Like, that is a scary, scary proposition. They are good. 7 seed St. Mary's. I don't know if I believe they'd beat that 10 seed BYU team, but I think that being a 1 seed, being a 2 seed, I don't know that it necessarily matters because I just think there's a depth of really good teams in college basketball this year that could all knock each other off depending on if you make or miss.
Tennessee a 2 seed by both of those guys. Reactions?
I would prefer Lunardi's avenue because if you're good enough like BYU to go on the road and get a win at Arizona, if you're good enough like Oregon to go on the road and beat Wisconsin when you were down by double digits, that's a pretty good. You're pretty good.
Yeah.
Their ceiling looks to be higher to me than St. Mary's in West Virginia, so I would prefer to be in Lunardi's bracket.
Okay. All right. And just for the record, I will throw this out there. The selection committee last week had Tennessee as number 5, the first number 2 seed. Number 5 is the first number 2 seed. I'm sure you follow that math. But it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 5th team gets the 2 seed. Bracket Matrix, which takes an overview of 100 different bracket projections. Tennessee's the 6th seed there. Now, Lunardi still has Tennessee as his 5th seed overall, but most of those projections out there, according to Bracket Matrix, they've shifted Tennessee below Houston to where they're number 6.